Hello. Currently, we have the continent Africa pulled up, and today we are going to look Central African Republic, very Central Africa. There are an enormous amount of wildfires taking hold in Central African Republic, CAR. I probably will call it either way. You can see all these spots here, all these browns and darker browns. These are all wildfires, recent wildfires. The lighter they are as brown, the longer it's been since that burned. But there is some actual fire that's still here. Now, Central African Republic is huge, not as huge as Democratic Republic of Congo, but it's still wide. So fires from other countries landlocked with could intrude over the border and cause chaos, but we don't know that yet. We have seen that before. As Venezuela right now, their wildfires are heading over into Colombia. And Colombia doesn't have fire departments, firefighters. It's all volunteer. It's all hand-me-down gear from the United States. So Colombia being on fire is a really, really big deal, because even though it's all donations and volunteers, 1/3 of Colombia still doesn't have any kind of firefighting whatsoever. So Venezuela is causing chaos, threatening to invade its neighbor Guyana, causing too many problems too quickly, especially with these wildfires in Colombia that we've seen for weeks making their way over into Colombia. That's why we do this. Incremental updates to better understand the theory that is a wildfire, just how quickly it can take hold and land. There are, let's go back over here actually. Not a lot of smoke. All the darker patches are all burns. Now here, you can see the fire line here. I don't think this is going to show up very well. I refuse to change the color of this. That is the fire line that is currently going north. Burns out, up. There's a few ways that we confirm that it's active fire, but it looks like a brush fire. Doesn't look like a lot of smoke, but all this is fire. All these patchy brown patches that are of varying degrees of brown to black. These are all fires. Central African Republic is having an epidemic of wildfires. All this is burned. You see some here fields. I mean, just think about the scale of some of these fires. It is massive. We're talking about fires with an active fire perimeter in the miles. I tried looking for signs of wildfire in Chile, but it's they're not. I know they're the worst wildfires in Chile in history, but they don't show up on satellite, unfortunately. A lot of the times the it's disastrous, and it follows along the river because we have here is why fire hugs the riverbank. How and why? Because as the fire comes down the hill, picks up a lot of momentum, and there is a bearing that they will use as momentum and drive the fire upwards. It's also done because the wind that's blowing down into the riverbank is forcing the fire, which is going to follow the path of least resistance. And then air that is blowing counterclockwise or clockwise is trapping the fire along with some low-lying vegetation that can burn. And then the fire comes back up. It just keeps doing this along the riverbank until it really takes hold of an area. And that's what we're seeing, like right here. How dark that is. It's these areas like that just get incinerated by fire. This fire right here. It's pretty alarming. There are fires all around. Go back up. There are a lot of fires that are burning. Guinea, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan. It's hell. Back down to Central African Republic. There are fires just everywhere in Central African Republic, and that Central African Republic is huge. What we're seeing here is an epidemic of wildfires in Central African Republic. Look at that. Terrible smoke. Okay, we see a lot of fires building up here on the bottom left side. A lot of fires down here. It's just ridiculous. Let it play for a minute. All these color changes that we're seeing are wildfires burning a lot of the green lush vegetation, shrubbery, bushes, brush, whatever, but it's a lot of fire very quickly. Sensitive area. You know, fire is a naturally occurring element in the planet. Still, these are unnatural wildfires due to drought, dry season, lack of rain. Wildfires beget climate by smoke laying waste to the precipitation and the clouds formations above, pushing the clouds up, displacing weather, I guess you could say. The displacement of weather that causes rain to get shredded out before it goes over an area. You'll have like 3 months of rain, just a few short hours. This is in the northern section. That's not just where it's burning. Central African Republic. Just to clear out. That you see here, all that gold, that's all fire right here. Active fire. You know that because we can go to the moisture index. And we can see the fire lines. That really didn't show very well. China's taking a moment to load. Nailed it. Push play. It is Flora and Fauna Massacre. We are seeing a very sensitive amount of plants, animals, because not all animals can escape this. These fires are moving way too fast and catching animals sleeping, because remember, it's not just a fire that you're contending with, you're also contending with smoke. And nothing thrives under smoke. Everything chokes. But not everything runs at the sign of smoke. Might be fire, but smoke can overwhelm a whole area pretty quickly and then act as a heat blanket to retain heat under that smoke. And impending firestorm could be several hundred degrees Fahrenheit, roasting any small forms of life that can't get underground fast enough. elephants, lions, very, very sensitive animals to both fire and heat, as most animals would be, especially at these levels. What we're seeing here, outbreak of wildfires that has become an epidemic of wildfires that will have these fires transit across borders into other neighboring countries. That's what you don't want to see. But these countries are so large with these fires that seem to be burning for too long that they eventually transit over, either due to, let's say we have a river, and we have a wildfire on this side. There's going to be a thermal limit that the smoke and everything is going to be able to hit, unless it, because it's also chock full of particulates. So as the smoke continues up, it's going to shred itself of particulates that can fall out onto the ground. These particulates can be several hundred degrees temperature. You know, these hot embers that take a ride over with smoke, and it's so full of particulates, it's kind of being carried by the smoke. Because smoke follows smoke, and it will follow the path of least resistance, with all the other smoke behind it following along. You see these areas here that, where there's these elaborate river systems that seem to be just the target of fires, and that's usually wise, because you have the wind blowing down into the rivers that's drawing all the fire and smoke around it. That's going to make the area sick. It is a massive, sprawling country. These Central African countries, I don't know if they really have a fire department. I know South Africa has fire department, planes, helicopters, McDrops. But some of these countries, it's difficult to find information regarding firefighting. You would think with all these fires around that you would be able to find some information regarding the burns, the blazes, and the battles on against the fires. None of that. If there is, it's in another language. I haven't found it. Think of that yet. Check their local newspapers if they're available. Sure, there's some websites like Paperboy. Websites like Paperboy and stuff like that I recall. Maybe these little newspapers that come out every day would have some news regarding these fires, because they're huge. You know, 10 20 kilometers with these fires in a row, you know, and they can easily join, because these firestorms are racing like this. That's why we look at the moisture level to look at these wildfires, because that tells us the direction that the fire is leaning. Apologize for this loading. Usually it's a lot snappier. You'll be able to see how fire burns along a river system. looks like a pretty serious fire here. Let's take a look. There's too many to look at. And it comes back. That is not smoke, that is cloud coverage, but there is some fires that can be seen underneath all that cloud coverage. Could be smoke, actually. Go back to false color. That's South Central Africa. We're looking up here. Ooh, boy. It is looking rough for northern Central Africa, but see all these fires can be walled up against this here river system. Push play. Make a time lapse. We can see the last month or so regarding these fires that have completely taken hold. Let's go back another day or so. So this is January 5th right here. This is lush, green, vibrant, wild. And these dark spots here, these browns and blacks, and these gold hinges, is all fire. The lighter the browns, the longer it's been since the burn. Darker, more recent to possibly smoldering. You think like trees burn, but so does their roots. They burn deep. You see the wildland firefighters, hosing down a tree in its roots for hours. It takes forever for these processes to complete. And the amount of wildland firefighting I don't think is possible here is huge. But it doesn't look like anything's actually being done against the fires themselves. Even though, of course, it's by a body of water or river. All the darker spots you see are fires taking over. This is Central Africa Republic. Northern Central Africa Republic. These fires are burning out of control. The last scan that we see, it's a lot of brush fire activity. We do see a wildfire too in the mix. Alongside the river system, we'll see some of the most serious fires. And fire can get trapped into a pocket of a delta or a mouth of a river and cause some serious fire to occur. Is this fire damage? Yeah. That's all around it. It's everywhere. Yeah. These fires are going to work its way down this river system until it's either stopped or fire season's over. I don't see either of this happening. Especially if the river is dry. The river is dry. A lot of vegetation all along the sides that can just keep burning. Some fields here. Sure is used for irrigation, but these fires look like they raced alongside this river system. Hmm. Hmm. So here, January 5th, the fire is still taking hold. Go back a little bit to December 26th. Still, December 16th. Okay, that's better. Get to a better area of no fire. This fire's been taking hold for weeks now. What I mean by it doesn't look like anybody's fighting these fires. That's madness. Play again. These are all look like farm fields, agricultural fields of varying purposes, all burning. This causes starvation. You know, these fields have been burning recently. Don't burn your fields, either in protest or to cleanse the land. You're not cleansing the land of prion disease, and I can't imagine anything else that you would use napalm on. Get rid of prion disease, it doesn't go away ever. Huge explosive fire in the last 2 weeks, not even the last 2 weeks, what is it? Fifth, last week, huge explosion of fire. All of this dark you see here, that's all fire. Relatively fire free on the 16th of December. Very patchy fire. Some pretty massive fires. Not very strong fires, but they're there. There's these two lines here. Those are two active fire perimeters. There's the third one just northeast of it, northwest of it. It's just east over here. Just a lot of patchy burns that you see patterns like this from being dominated by wind, fanned out like a blowtorch. Whoa. You see the fire here on the south side. Push play. an obscene amount of fire. I'll keep this to Central African Republic as the title suggests. Not going over the border to look for other fires, but plenty to see here. All along the northern border of Central African Republic. What's that mean fire here? Big billowing black smoke. Plastic. That's a mean fire. That's the active perimeter. It's all around. Very dark line. That this giant smoldering space. There's a lot of patchy fires here. Take a look at a time lapse of it. Switch play. Play. Vicious. Both sides. All sides. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of fire. Launches up and starts again from another direction. Two different directions. Like, this is insane. So I'll go higher up and look at it, because this looks bigger than previous fires. way. Now let's make our way back up. Here at the border, countries are South Sudan, experiencing hellish amounts of wildfires that are burning through into the heart of the Sud, which is the largest swamp slash marsh slash wetland in the world. Second would be Paraguay, but it's just not the same. The 12 million people are refugees now due to the fighting in Khartoum. You can see this river here, the Nile, flows into this giant catch basin here, which is all on fire. It is literally this bad. And that is the only connection I could have, because you have 12 million people that are fleeing into the bush, people evacuating with what they have. If a cooking pot was this result of this that set fire, you would blame the Sudanese army and the rapid support forces for the conflict. This all falls on them because you would probably need military vehicles to get around and to be able to make drops if this possible. But that is South Sudan, which we will look at another time. Right now, Central African Republic. These massive fires, they don't stop. I'm not zooming in on the same fires over and over, it's just a different fire. Huge, massive burns. See if the smoke. Okay. Yep. Apologies, take a moment to load. Don't see it. Huge growth right here. Still in the Central African Republic. It's a lot of fires in the Central African Republic. Oh my god. What is happening? What happens when you let your fires go too long? They're all fires. All of this gold ring is all active fire perimeters. And this isn't like a... No. These fires just don't stop. Yeah. Way too much that is happening. Way too much. Too much fire. Unchecked. It doesn't... I fear none of it is being dealt with. Could be dealt with. Yeah. Overrun. Completely overrun with fire. Right. Monstrous fires just everywhere. Now it looks like they're on the border and across the border, but I can't tell which side started which. Wait for it to load. Push play. Press play. South Sudan. Fires are coming from across the border in South Sudan, across the border, Chad. Alright. I will call the stream here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking the stream and subscribing to the channel. It helps me out immensely. I will see you again soon. Take care.